The rain was heavy that night. The wind howled, and thunder rolled across the sky. It was almost midnight. The streets were empty. Most people were inside, staying warm and dry. But Daniel was still driving. He had just finished a long shift at work and was heading home through a quiet countryside road. His car's headlights lit the wet road ahead. Trees moved with the wind on both sides. Daniel yawned. He was tired and ready for bed. But then something caught his eye. A person was standing alone by the side of the road. A woman. Her car was stopped near a street lamp. Its hazard lights were blinking. The hood was open, and smoke was coming out. The woman looked cold and scared. She wasn't waving for help, but she looked around nervously, like she was expecting something or someone. Daniel slowed down and pulled over. He rolled down his window and asked, "Are you okay? Do you need help?" The woman looked at him for a moment, unsure. Then she nodded quickly. "Yes, my car broke down. My phone died too. I don't know what to do." Daniel looked at her closely. She was young, maybe in her late 20s. Her clothes were soaked, and her hands were shaking. But there was something strange. She kept glancing behind her, toward the dark road. Daniel got out of his car and walked over. "It's not safe to stay here. You'll catch a cold. Come sit in my car. It's warm." The woman hesitated, then nodded again. "Thank you. I'm Maya." "I'm Daniel," he replied, helping her to the passenger side. She quickly got in, shivering. Inside the car, Daniel turned up the heat. Maya held her hands near the vents, trying to warm up. But her eyes kept darting to the side mirror. "You okay?" Daniel asked again. Maya gave a nervous smile. "Yes. I don't like being alone on dark roads." Daniel nodded. "Yeah, it can feel scary." Just then, Daniel noticed something in the mirror too. A black SUV slowly passed by Maya's broken car. It didn't stop. It didn't speed up. It just rolled by slowly, almost watching. Daniel's eyes followed the SUV. It disappeared into the darkness. But something felt wrong. Maya's face went pale. She looked like she had seen a ghost. "Do you know them?" Daniel asked. She didn't answer right away. Then she said softly, "No, I don't." But her voice shook. She was lying. Daniel didn't ask again. Instead, he said, "Let me take you to a gas station. You can call someone from there." Maya quickly nodded. "Yes, please, somewhere with people." They started driving. The rain kept falling hard. The wipers moved quickly, clearing the windshield every second. Maya didn't speak much. She just looked outside, quiet and tense. Suddenly, Daniel saw headlights in his rearview mirror. The black SUV was back. It was following them. Not too close, but not far either, like it wanted to stay hidden, but also stay near. Daniel felt a chill. He tried to ignore it. Maybe it was just going the same way. But Maya saw it too, and her hands began to shake again. Daniel asked, "Are you sure you don't know that car?" This time, Maya didn't speak. Silence filled the car. Only the rain and the sound of tires on the wet road could be heard. Then Maya whispered something that sent a chill down Daniel's spine. "They found me." Daniel looked at her. "Who found you?" But Maya didn't answer. She looked down, her eyes full of fear. Daniel took a sharp turn and entered a side road. The black SUV followed. He turned again, speeding up. The SUV followed faster. Maya grabbed his arm. "Please, don't stop. Don't let them get me." Daniel's mind was spinning. Who was this woman? What had she done? Who were these people chasing her? He didn't know. But one thing was clear. She was in danger. And now, so was he. Daniel kept driving, his hands tight on the steering wheel. The road ahead was wet and dark, but he didn't slow down. The black SUV was still behind them, always a few car lengths away. Not too close, not too far. It was following, silently, like a shadow. Maya sat beside him, her arms wrapped around herself, trembling. Daniel looked at her. Maya, what's going on? Who are those people? Why are they after you? She shook her head. I can't say. It's too dangerous. For you too. I shouldn't have gotten in your car. Daniel frowned. It's a bit late for that now, don't you think? Maya looked at him, her eyes full of fear. They'd never let anyone go once they find them. Daniel didn't answer. He was trying to think. The SUV was still behind them. He couldn't lead them to his home. He couldn't stop. What was the right thing to do? He suddenly turned into a gas station. It was small, with just 2 pumps and a small store. He hoped the SUV would keep going. But it didn't. It also turned in and parked at the far end of the lot. Daniel's heartbeat quickened. Inside the car, Maya's voice shook. They're watching. Please, we can't stay here. Daniel looked at the gas station store. There was a clerk inside, an old man reading a newspaper. Maybe it was safe. Maybe not. He made a quick decision. He stepped out and went to the clerk. Excuse me, can I use your bathroom? The old man pointed to the side. Daniel nodded and walked over. But instead of using the bathroom, he circled around the back of the station and came back to his car from the other side. That way, if the SUV driver was watching, he wouldn't know Daniel was returning so quickly. Daniel jumped back into the car and whispered, "Hold on." He reversed fast, tires skidding on the wet ground, and sped off onto the road again, taking the sharp turn down an alleyway. Maya held onto the seat. Did they see us? Daniel looked back. At first, he saw nothing. Then, headlights. The SUV was back again. He cursed under his breath and kept driving. Maya, I need to know the truth, he said. I've helped you. I'm risking everything now. Who are these people? Maya was quiet for a moment. Then she said softly, I used to be married to a man named Victor. He runs dangerous things. He owns businesses, but not everything is legal. Daniel glanced at her. You mean he's a criminal? Maya nodded. Yes. I didn't know at first. I thought he was just rich. But one night, I found a laptop left open. It had files, videos, names, passwords, bank accounts, and people. People he hurt. People who disappeared. Daniel's throat felt dry. So you ran. She nodded again. I took some files and ran. I've been hiding for months. But now, they found me. The SUV's headlights were closer now. Do you have the files? Daniel asked quickly. Maya reached into her coat and pulled out a small flash drive. It's all here. Everything. Daniel took a deep breath. He was in the middle of something much bigger than he expected. He took another sharp turn and entered a narrow road between buildings. For a few moments, they couldn't see the SUV behind them. Daniel used the time to think. We can't just keep driving. They'll catch us eventually. Maya looked desperate. I know a place, a friend. It's not far. We can hide there. Daniel nodded. Tell me where. She gave him directions. It was an old house outside the city, quiet, hidden behind trees. They reached it in 20 minutes. The SUV was no longer behind them. For now, Daniel knocked on the door. A tall woman opened it. She seemed shocked to see Maya, but quickly let them in. Once inside, Maya finally relaxed a little. The friend, whose name was Alina, gave her dry clothes and hot tea. Daniel looked out the window. No sign of the SUV. But he knew it wasn't over. Later that night, while Maya rested, Daniel sat with Alina in the kitchen. She's not safe, is she? He asked. Alina shook her head. Not until those men are caught. They'll never stop. Daniel looked at the flash drive in his hand. It felt heavy, not in weight, but in danger. Suddenly, the lights in the house flickered, then went out. Total darkness. Daniel stood up, alert. Alina, Lock the doors. A soft sound came from outside, like footsteps on wet grass. Daniel's heart pounded. They found us, Maya whispered from behind him. And just like that, everything changed again. The house was now dark. Only the sound of rain hitting the windows filled the silence. Daniel stood by the door, heart racing, holding a fire poker from the fireplace. Alina moved quickly to lock all the doors and windows. Maya stood still in the hallway, frozen in fear. They cut the power, Daniel whispered. Maya nodded slowly. They're here. Outside, the soft sound of footsteps continued. Slow, careful, watching. Daniel peeked through the curtain but couldn't see anything in the darkness. Just trees and rain. Suddenly, VANG, something hit the back door. Alina gasped. Daniel ran toward it and locked the bolt tighter. They're trying to get in. We can't stay here, Maya said, shaking. They will break through. Daniel looked at her. Tell me the truth, Maya. All of it. What's really on that drive? Maya's lips trembled. Her voice was low, broken. Victor, my ex-husband, he's not just a criminal. He runs a secret organization, hidden businesses, fake charities. Even some police officers work for him. Daniel's eyes widened. You mean he has people everywhere? Yes, she whispered. That's why I couldn't trust anyone. That's why I've been running. That drive, she pointed to the flash drive on the table, has proof, names, locations, hidden money, everything. If this reaches the police, Victor will lose everything. Daniel stared at the small flash drive. So much power inside something so tiny. But why now? He asked. Why are they chasing you tonight? Maya took a shaky breath. I sent a copy of the files to a lawyer, a good man. I didn't tell him my name, but I told him if anything happens to me, release it. I think they found out. That's why they're desperate. They want the original, and they want me gone before morning. Suddenly, another sound came from outside. A voice. Maya, we don't want to hurt you. Just come out. Give us what you took. We'll let the man go. Daniel looked at Maya. They're lying, aren't they? Maya nodded. They'll kill us both. Daniel gripped the poker tighter. Then we don't give them a chance. Alina, still calm but serious, opened a drawer and pulled out a small gun. We're not going down easy. Daniel was surprised. You keep a gun. I used to work in a rescue unit, she said. Maya came to the right place. They quickly made a plan. Alina would guard the front. Daniel and Maya would slip out the back through the basement window. It was small, but just enough. But as they started moving, Maya suddenly stopped. Tears welled in her eyes. There's something else, she said softly. Daniel turned. What? Maya looked down. I was pregnant, with Victor's child, when I ran away. Daniel froze. I lost the baby during my second month of hiding. Stress, cold, hunger. I didn't tell anyone. I buried it myself in an unknown place. That baby, it was my only light during the darkness. Her voice cracked. Daniel could see the pain in her eyes. She had lost everything, her safety, her home, even her child. Now, she was just trying to survive. Daniel placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. You're not alone anymore. Maya nodded, wiping her tears. Let's finish this. They reached the basement window and carefully pushed it open. Cold wind and rain rushed in. Daniel climbed out first, then helped Maya. The backyard was empty, for now. They ran through the trees, away from the house. The darkness covered them like a blanket. No footsteps behind yet. But then, a loud scream from inside the house. Alina, Maya cried out. Daniel grabbed her hand. No, we can't go back. That's what they want. Alina told us to go no matter what. They kept running. The road was ahead. Daniel spotted a shed and pulled Maya inside to catch their breath. She fell to her knees. "I can't do this anymore." Daniel kneeled beside her. "Yes, you can. You've come this far. And I'm not letting them win. We're taking this drive to the lawyer. We're going to expose Victor." Maya looked at him. "Even if it kills you." Daniel gave a small smile. "Some fights are worth it." Suddenly, the sound of tires on wet gravel. A car pulled up near the shed. Headlights. Not an SUV this time. A small car. A man stepped out. Tall. Wearing a hood. Daniel stood ready. The man raised both hands. "Daniel?" "Maya. I'm the lawyer. Alina called me before the power went out. I tracked your phone's last signal." Daniel didn't believe him immediately. "Prove it." The man pulled out a badge and a photo of Maya that she had sent earlier. "My name is Martin Hale. I work outside the system, not tied to any local police." Maya stepped forward, her eyes full of shock. "You really came." Martin nodded. "Let's go. We don't have long." "The flash drive. Is it safe?" Daniel pulled it from his coat. "Right here." Martin opened the car door. "Then get in. The truth is about to come out." Martin's car sped down the highway. The rain had slowed, but the road was still wet and dangerous. Inside the car, the silence was heavy. Maya sat in the back seat, holding the flash drive like it was her last hope. Daniel sat beside Martin, watching every mirror. Behind them, the road was empty. No sign of the black SUV, but nobody felt safe. Martin finally spoke. "We need to get to my office. It's outside the city, more secure. Once we upload the files, Victor's whole world will collapse." Maya nodded, but she still looked scared. "Will they try to stop us again?" Martin's voice was calm but serious. "Yes, Victor won't stop until he gets this back." He pointed at the flash drive. "This is his secret life. His money, his crimes, his network. If it goes public, he's done." Daniel turned in his seat. "Then we need to move fast." They drove for another 20 minutes, but just as they crossed an old bridge, headlights appeared behind them. It was the black SUV. Daniel's heart dropped. "They found us." Martin hit the gas, but the SUV also sped up. "They're gaining," Daniel said. "They won't stop now." Maya gripped the seat. "They're going to kill us." Martin swerved onto a side road, trying to lose them. The car bounced on the rough path, tires slipping on mud. The SUV followed without hesitation. "We have to do something," Daniel said. "They're not backing off." Martin looked at him. "There's a tunnel up ahead. After that, a forest road. If we can lose them there, we'll be close to my office." But the SUV wasn't giving up. It came closer, and suddenly rammed into the back of their car. The whole car shook. Maya screamed. "They're trying to knock us off the road," Daniel shouted. Martin held the wheel tight. "Not today." He took a sharp turn just before the tunnel entrance. The SUV missed it by inches and slammed into the tunnel wall with a loud crash. Daniel looked back. "Did we lose them?" Martin didn't slow down. For now. They drove into the forest road, dark, narrow, and full of twists. After 15 more minutes, they finally reached a small cabin hidden behind trees. It looked like nothing from the outside, but inside was a full office with computers, cameras, and secure servers. Martin locked the door and turned on the system. "Give me the drive," he said. Maya handed it over, her hands shaking. Martin inserted it and started uploading the files. Daniel watched the screen. "How long will it take?" 10 minutes, Martin said. "Maybe less." Outside, the rain started again. Maya sat down slowly, her face pale. "This is it. If this works, Victor goes down." Daniel sat beside her. "It will work. You've suffered enough. It's time he pays." Suddenly, a loud bang on the door. Daniel stood up quickly. "They found us again." Martin pulled out a small gun. Stay low. Another bang. Then a voice. Open up. We just want to talk. Daniel shook his head. They're stalling. They'll break the door any second. The computer showed 83% uploaded. Martin looked at them. Hold them off for 2 minutes. That's all I need. Daniel nodded. He and Maya moved to the back room, which had a small window. Through it, they saw 2 men in black coats outside. Maya's voice shook. They'll kill us if they get in. Daniel looked at her. No, not today. He picked up a metal rod from the floor and handed Maya a flashlight. If they come in, blind them. I'll stop them. Maya didn't want to fight. She was tired, broken, but something inside her, maybe the pain of losing her child, or the memory of all the nights she ran in fear, gave her new strength. She nodded. Outside, the men broke a window. One climbed in. Maya turned on the flashlight right into his eyes. The man shouted in surprise. Daniel hit him with the rod, knocking him back. The second man jumped through the window, but Martin had joined them now. He fired a warning shot. The man froze. "Geek out," Martin yelled. The 2 men backed away, realizing they had lost. Inside, the upload finished. 100%. Martin smiled. It's done. The files are live. I sent them to the FBI, a news station, and 2 judges. Maya sat down, tears falling from her eyes. It's over. Martin nodded. It's over for him. Daniel placed a hand on her shoulder. You're safe now. Suddenly, Martin's phone buzzed. He answered and listened for a moment. Then he smiled. They just arrested Victor. In his mansion. The FBI moved fast. Maya broke down in tears. Tears of relief. Of peace. Of freedom. Daniel held her close. It's finally over. The next morning, sunlight broke through the clouds for the first time in days. The storm had passed. But for Maya, a much bigger storm had just ended. She sat on a small wooden bench outside Martin's cabin. The air smelled fresh. Birds sang gently from the trees. It felt unreal. Daniel stepped out of the cabin, holding 2 cups of tea. He gave one to Maya and sat beside her. No more running, he said softly. Maya took the cup, her hand still shaking a little. It feels strange. Like I'm still in danger. Like he could come back. Daniel looked at her with calm eyes. He won't. Victor is behind bars now. The news is everywhere. Just then, Martin came out, holding a laptop. You 2 might want to see this. They'd followed him inside, where the screen showed a live news broadcast. Breaking news. Billionaire Victor Klein arrested. Charges include corruption, money laundering, human trafficking, and more. Maya gasped as she saw Victor being led out of his mansion in handcuffs. His eyes were empty. Angry. Lost. Dozens of reporters shouted questions, but he said nothing. The reporter continued. Authorities found secret bank accounts, fake passports, and connections to illegal businesses across 3 countries. The evidence came from a brave unknown woman who risked her life to expose him. Maya's hands covered her mouth. They're talking about me. Martin smiled. Yes. And more than that, victims are coming forward. People Victor hurt in the past. They're speaking now because they know he's finished. Daniel added, you didn't just save yourself. You saved so many others. The camera switched to a press conference. A female FBI agent stood behind a podium. She said, we want to thank the citizen who gave us this information. Because of her, we've taken down one of the most dangerous networks hiding behind wealth and power. She showed true courage. Maya's eyes filled with tears. She had spent so long hiding in fear. Now, people were calling her brave. She whispered, I wish my baby was here to see this. Daniel gently touched her shoulder. Your child would be proud of you. You gave this pain a purpose. Maya looked at him and smiled for the first time in a long while. Later that day, Maya sat quietly and wrote a letter. Daniel didn't ask what it was. He just stayed close. When she finished, she folded it and handed it to Martin. "It's for the families Victor hurt. Please send it to them." Martin nodded. "They'll appreciate it." They spent the next few days at the cabin. Maya started sleeping better. She smiled more. She talked without looking over her shoulder. The nightmares became less frequent. One morning, Daniel asked her a question. "What will you do now?" Maya looked at the trees. "I think I want to help people who've been through the same thing. Maybe work at a shelter, or with survivors." "That sounds perfect," Daniel said. "You'd be amazing at it." "And you?" Maya asked, looking at him curiously. Daniel chuckled. "I'm a simple man. I fix cars, remember?" Maya smiled. "A car mechanic who fought off criminals and saved a woman's life." He grinned. "Yeah, that part was new." They laughed together. It felt good. Real. Healing. A week later, Maya stood outside a small building in the city. It was a women's center. She had an interview for a new job, helping victims of abuse find safety and support. Daniel waited nearby, just in case. Maya walked inside with confidence. She didn't feel weak anymore. She felt strong. Last scene, 1 year later. A quiet street, children playing, flowers blooming. Maya walked out of a small office building wearing a simple blue dress. Her name tag read Maya, Survivor Support Specialist. She smiled as she saw Daniel waiting across the street, leaning against his truck. They had kept in touch, grown closer. Maya walked over and hugged him. "Guess what? I got promoted." Daniel grinned. "Told you they'd see how amazing you are." Maya looked up at the sky. No fear, no shadows, just light. As they walked together down the road, hand in hand, a small black car drove by slowly. Maya froze for a second. Daniel noticed and held her hand tighter. But the car kept going. Just a stranger. No threat. Maya took a deep breath and smiled again. She was free. Not just from Victor, but from fear, from silence, from the past. And now, her story was just beginning. The sun rose gently over the quiet neighborhood. A soft breeze moved the curtains inside Maya's small apartment. The world outside looked peaceful, calm. But for Maya, this peace was not something she always had. She stood in front of her mirror, wearing a clean white blouse and soft blue jeans. Her hair was tied back neatly. On her desk was a photo of a baby girl, her child, the one she had lost. Maya picked it up, kissed it softly, and whispered, "I'm doing it for you." She placed the photo gently in her bag and left the apartment. Today was a big day. The streets were filled with life, kids going to school, people opening their shops, laughter here and there. Maya walked with quiet confidence. No more looking over her shoulder. No more fear in her steps. She had faced her demons. And won. She arrived at a tall building with a blue sign. Safe Path Foundation. Helping survivors rebuild. Maya had been working here for almost a year now. She was no longer a victim. She was a guide, a helper, someone women came to when they had nowhere else to go. As she entered, a young woman was sitting nervously in the waiting area, eyes red from crying. Maya walked up to her, bent down, and gave a warm smile. "Hi, I'm Maya. You're safe here now." The girl nodded slowly. For a moment, her shoulders relaxed. Just a little. That was all Maya needed to see. She knew that feeling too well. Later that afternoon, Maya sat in her small office. Her desk was filled with files, a cup of tea, and drawings children had given her. There was a knock on the door. It was Daniel. He walked in holding a small box and a big smile. "Lunch delivery," he joked. Maya laughed. "You're 1 minute late." "Traffic," he said with a wink. Daniel was still a mechanic, still fixing old cars in his tiny garage. But he had stayed close to Maya. Every week, he checked in. Every time she felt a little overwhelmed, he showed up, sometimes with food, sometimes with silence, sometimes just to make her laugh. They had grown close, so close that even words were not always needed. As they ate together, Maya asked, "Do you ever think about that night? The one on the highway?" Daniel nodded. "Sometimes. It still gives me chills. That SUV. The fear, the chase. It was all too much." Maya looked out the window. "But it was also the night everything changed. The night I stopped running." Daniel looked at her softly. "And started living." Maya smiled and touched the necklace around her neck. It had a tiny charm in the shape of a flame, a symbol of strength, of rising from the fire. Daniel noticed it. "You still wear it?" She nodded. "Every day. It reminds me that I didn't burn. I survived." Evening came. Maya walked to a quiet hill at the edge of town. She often came here to think. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange and pink. She took out the photo of her daughter again and placed it on a stone beside her. "I hope you see me," she whispered. "I hope you know I kept going, even when it hurt, even when I wanted to give up." She looked up at the sky, eyes full of emotion, but no longer filled with pain. "Your mother is no longer afraid." A soft wind passed by, brushing against her face. She closed her eyes and smiled. It felt like a warm hug, like her daughter was saying, "I see you." Back at the foundation, a small girl ran down the hallway with a drawing in her hand. "Maya, Maya." She turned and caught the girl in her arms. "What's this?" "It's you," the girl said proudly. "And you have wings." Maya looked at the drawing. A woman with big bright wings, standing in front of a house, surrounded by children. "Why wings?" she asked. "Because you're an angel. That's what my mom says. You saved us." Maya's eyes filled with tears again, but this time they weren't from pain. They were from pride. She hugged the girl tightly. "Thank you. That means everything."